So the last one was 83?
Our last one, yeah, with Izzy and Solo.
That's crazy. You're at 84 already.
Yeah, bro. It's wild. Wild, wild, wild. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. What is Gucci Manucci's? Welcome to the Half Court Podcast. This is episode 84, and my shit is tripping. Okay, got a special guest, got a brother, you know what I'm saying? Got one of the coldest barbers in the goddamn game, man. You know what I'm saying? Cold-ass photographer as well. Man can do it all, man. We got David Vargas in the goddamn building.
What's up? What's up?
You got the applause and everything, bro. What's good with you, bro?
Shit, I just been kicking it, grinding, bro. Just trying to work on myself, work on my relationship. I practically have kids. I got 3 dogs, so that's like a full-time job.
I like to say the same, bro. I got me a little dog and shit, so it's like, I feel you.
They're blessings, bro. I always tell people, like, because people ask me, like, how do you get your dogs to, like, obey you so much?
Bro, what the fuck?
Well, like, a lot of people think that, like, I'm a trainer, but it's crazy because, like, I've learned so much through my dogs. Like, my dogs, in a sense, kind of trained me. And I'm really grateful that I actually, because, like I said in the past podcast, I used to be by myself. Like, I lived by myself. So now I'm with a companion, and then I got my 3 dogs. And I'm like, damn, I'm having to learn patience. I'm having to learn how to shift my lifestyle a little bit. And, like, my patience level has gotten so good because of my dogs, because
at first they're all reckless. They're fucking shit up.
They're kids, bro.
And you have to be like, understand, like, get pissed, right? They bite, let's say, your shoe or whatever.
Oh,
like,
man.
fuck.
They're like little 2-year-olds, man. It's crazy because I tell people, I'm like, my dog's training me. Like, my dog, from the moment it's a puppy, it's going to start doing reckless shit. Like, it's just going to get into whatever it wants to get into. They're just curious individuals. But you really start to notice that they each have personalities, and it makes it such a beautiful thing because, you know, a lot of people, they try to, like, play with your dog and they're like, oh, it's having fun. But it's crazy because a dog just knows love. Like, that's all a dog knows.
Loyalty.
So, like, that's all it knows. So, like, when you're training it, you start to see the excitement that it likes to work with you. It's not even about throwing a ball. No, if it's like going on a walk or teaching it how to sit, it's like having a time of its life because it knows that you're spending time with them. And
my dog fucking loves the car rides and shit.
Oh, bro.
Like, as soon as he knows, like, I get the leash and shit, and he's like all happy and excited and shit, and like he'll get in the car, jump in that motherfucker, and just go crazy.
Yeah, bro.
You're right, bro. It's crazy. I didn't even think about it in that scale of like patience and like.
No, yeah. So like my dog taught me patience. Like, I mean, I already had somewhat patience, but they gave me even more patience. And then it's something that, like, you spend a whole week teaching your dog how to sit. And then after you're done teaching them how to sit and it's already like muscle memory to them, you introduce the next thing. And my dog, like today, I was training her because I was at the house doing little things around, and I was teaching her how to stay like in the spot until I told her to move. So like our word for her to actually get up and move around is break. So I would tell her like, hey, sit down. And she would
that comes to repetition, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because I'm trying to get my dog to where I put the treat on top of his head and he stays still. That's the hardest thing.
That's hard.
In the mornings, because I feed him every morning and I put the food, and I had to train him like, you're going to sit down and wait until I pour this food. And when I tell you to go, you go get it.
Yeah.
And it was a process. Damn, them boys going crazy. So it was a process. And now it's like, okay, every morning he knows he has to sit down, and then when I say go, he'll go and get it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And I tell people too, like, when you're training them, they really don't know what you're saying. It's kind of like, it's a signal that lets them eat, that lets them sit. Like, it's just little signals that they catch on to. They don't know about conversations. They just grasp key words that they know ends up with the result. So, like, it's crazy because, like, with my dog, it's the same thing. She knows she can't eat until I tell her to eat. But I mean, since she was a puppy, that was like one of the easiest things for me to teach her. Like, she was so food driven. So I think she was like, damn, I just need to like chill out, and then he's going to let me eat. And now it's the craziest thing ever. And now we go to the dog park, and it's crazy because people are like, man, like, your dogs are like crazy. Like, they're smart. I'm like, I just built a communication system. That's it. Like, we're just getting to know each other.
It's repetition.
Yeah. But like every morning, I'll hear like the cages of because I keep her in a kennel because like I felt like sleeping with them, they got to know that's like the alpha's den. Like, that's the alpha's room. Like, you don't get to sleep with the alpha. So, like, I put her in her kennel at night, and it's crazy. Like, 7 a.m, she's, like, not even barking. She's just hitting her cage because she knows I'm going to wake up. And, like, 7 a.m, I'm taking her out of the bathroom, and then, like, she's like, all right, cool, let's go back inside.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, they know and shit. And it's like, yeah, it's wild, bro. I definitely feel like that does teach you how to be a parent, and you can be like, it's not the same, but it gives you that like path
For sure.
Because at the end of the day, that's all they want is attention and shit.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like, I was somebody that was like, yeah, I can't wait to have kids. But then I have the dogs, and I'm like, bro, like, if I were to have a kid,
yeah, like, have a kid.
Yeah, if I have like, if these dogs just like run around and like mess shit up, I'm like, imagine having a kid. It's gonna be grabbing tablets, like the fridge is gonna be in everything. I'm like, nah, I think I would love to have a kid, but I'm like, I'd rather just chill for now.
Yeah. For sure. Because with the kid, it's a full time instead of part time. Because the dogs, you can leave them out in the backyard for a couple of hours. And, but with the kid, that's the fuck.
That's a whole different ball game.
I don't even.
And I give so much respect to parents. Like, even now that since I cut hair, like, I've built relationships with kids and stuff. And I'm just like, damn, some of these kids, I'm like, man, I give so much respect to these parents because these kids are a handful.
And parenting is one, like, consistent commitment of, like, make sure your kid has discipline. Like, when you go to a retail store, like, he's not running around knocking shit. And, like, you like, when you tell them, like, stop it, and they stop it. Like, all that shit is just a very, like, it's a commitment. And it's, like, it can be draining and shit. It's a full-time job,
Yeah, and if you think about it, like, we're really just kids raising kids. Like, I don't know too many adults that got to figure it out. Like, I know way more adults that are trying to figure it out than people that already got to figure it out. So, like, really, you're, like, in charge of a kid, and you're like, damn, one day I'm literally raising them to be an adult one day.
It's wild, bro.
And I'm like, I don't even know how to be an adult yet.
It's fucking wild, bro. I'm 28, bro, and I'm still trying to figure this shit out, bro. And when I was 20, I would always say, like, at 20, I'm gonna be made. It's like, man,
it's hard, bro.
Yeah.
And and that's something too that I kind of like grasped my attention on, and I'm kind of like, man, I think everybody gets a shot in their lifetime. It's just a matter if you're gonna take that shot. Like, we all get that opportunity, but some people sleep on it because of comfort. But, like, the whole raising a kid and the kid ended up, like, becoming an adult. There's, like, so many parents that are, like, they're raising their kid, but, like, by the time they're, like, 13, 14, they're like, he knows what the fuck he's doing. But I'm like, bro, no, he doesn't. Like, your kid does not know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. And I don't know, bro. It is draining. It is, like, all this shit, just trying to figure life out is just like, damn, what the fuck, and yeah, it's wild. But
because you got to think about it, like, even in situations where, like, let's say people are doctors, firefighters, engineers, we all started in the same spot. We were all babies at one point. And there's some people that are criminals. And there's some people that are, like, highly successful people. There's some people that are, like, stuck at their jobs, slave to their jobs. And there's some people that live life so free. You know what I mean?
That's the code I'm trying to crack.
And it's crazy. It's like, and really, we're all running in a system, and the system, it's not designed for us. It's designed against us. Like, so really, we're trying to figure out something that's against us, and it's kind of like, it's a tricky thing because we're constantly, like, getting grasped back with things that stress us, depress us. We're like, damn, we want to go travel, but fuck, we got these bills. Like, there's so many things that we want to do, but the systems that holds us back. And really, I mean, it comes down to discipline too, because I know plenty of people that are successful and they're young, but it's just because they had that discipline in them.
Lack of knowledge too can be a big one, right? Because if we let our brains get programmed to what they want to, what they want us to see and shit, like, they make it easy for us to be in debt. Super easy. And make it normal. Like, oh, get this $50,000 car. Payments are as low as this.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, shit.
That's what I was talking to Chad. He's one of the investors for
shout out to Chad.
Yeah, shout out to Chad. He's a really good guy for the community. He looks out for people. But I was talking to Chad because Chad was like, if you were to open a barber college, what would be the first thing you teach? I'm like, financial literacy, bro. And then he was like, why so? I'm like, I know so many barbers that make so much money, but they're in the same position they were 10 years ago. And I'm starting to catch myself in that situation. I'm like, man, I was making so much money, but the fact that I had so much money and nobody ever taught me how to play with money, I'm still in the same spot. So I'm like, there's so many people in society that make so much money, but they don't know how to move forward because they've never had somebody teach them. And I was
at that point, what they do is like based on the money that they make, they adjust their lifestyle to it. So I'm making this much, so I can go and buy this. I can go and do this. And they don't find ways to like make that money work for them.
Correct.
And level up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's true, bro. It's true what you say. They're in the game 10 years and, you know.
And they're in the same spot. And that's what I was talking to one of the barbers. I was like, what's one of your goals? And then he was like, you know, one of my goals is to have a house and have 10 racks. And I was like, 10 racks looks hard to you because you've never hung out with people that had 10 racks. You've been around people that have been trying to live the same lifestyle as you. I was like, I didn't start leveling up until I started hanging out with people that had 10 racks, until I knew people that started having 20 racks. And now I'm around people that have like millions, and I'm like, all right, now's my time to shut up and listen. Like, I'm in a group now where literally I just have to shut my mouth and just listen the whole time because obviously they know something I don't. And this is an opportunity for me to just grasp. Like, I know guys that are 23 that are like already in their millions, but it's not that they're just in millions, but their work ethic is just way higher. Like, their bills are higher. Their company's generating so much. Their company has to spend so much. They have to meet a certain quote. And I'm like, man, these dudes are 23 years old, but they got their shit down. They're not just living, making this money and just blowing it. No, they're generating it.
It's work ethic and discipline, bro. I think that's the most important thing. And we all, at a certain point, you know, started something and then just fell off, you know, because of life and situation, comfort. And those people that are up there are the ones that did like, you know, fuck that shit. I'm going to grind this shit out. I'm going to do this shit every day. And, you know, in a way, they're kind of like fucking psychopaths and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because they were locked in, like Kobe Bryant, fucking one of the greats. Motherfucker was at the first one in the gym, last one to leave. You know what I'm saying? LeBron, fucking, you know, I mean, you see Drake, he's always looking for ways to evolve and fucking find a new sound, hop on somebody's track and like, and I think that's what really separates people is the discipline.
And it's crazy because in the entertainment industry, like sports and music and all that, I've really been, these past couple months, I've been kind of like really dipping deep in perspective, and they're like, and I can't really live the shoes they live in, but I try to put myself in the situation. And I'm like, damn, like, let's say with athletes, they depend on that shit their whole life. Like, growing up, they're like, this is my only ticket out. That's why so many baseball players now are from like the Dominican Republic. They're from Puerto Rico, Venezuela. It's because that's all they know. And that's the only thing that can get them to another position that they could help their family, help themselves out. Like, that's their ticket. And I have buddies that are in the league. I'm not going to say their names just because I don't want them to get any like backlash or anything. But one of my buddies was talking to one of my buddies in the league, and he was telling him like, hey, like when you went to the draft for the NFL, like how was it? And my buddy was expecting like for them to be like, oh, it was badass. But he was like, bro, I felt like a slave. And then he was like, what you mean? He was like, yeah, bro, like they were seeing how much we weighed. We were up there just in our boxers. They were checking our wingspan, how high we could jump, how fast we could run. He was like, that's modern day slavery, bro. He was like, they added one more game to the NFL season. He was like, and the owners of the teams and the arenas, they're going to make millions, but we're not going to get paid any extra for that extra game, yet that extra game could jeopardize our career. And I was just like, damn, like really, like athletes live like puppet lifestyles. Like they have to live to their owners' standards and shit. And that's like a really sad realization.
Yeah, you're right on that. You can look at it in that perspective. It's just like, you know what you're signing up for, you know, like there's a price for everything, right?
For sure.
You know, you want to be, your passion is music, for example. you know you're going to be a puppet. So it's something like, I guess a lot of people, especially in the music shit, when you're an upcoming artist, you don't realize it until you get up there where it's like, oh shit, this is not what I thought. I thought I was just going to be touring, making music, but no, I gotta like portray an image I'm not. I gotta go to this interview and say this instead of being who I really want to be. And that's when you realize shit, that like it ain't sweet, or the grass ain't green on that side. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's a lot. My bad for cutting you off, but I was actually watching I was listening to a podcast today of Michaela Peterson. I think you've heard of her, but she was interviewing the author of 48 Laws of Power, and he was the one that helped.
Who's the author?
I forgot his name, but he helped 50 Cent write 50 Laws of Power. And when he was talking to 50 Cent, he asked him a question about his past life. And he was like, I lived a hard past life. He was like, but I could tell you that none of the shit I went through, like growing up in New York, prepared me for the shit I saw in the music industry. He was like, the music industry is like fucked. And then he was like, damn, like, it's crazy how we could live one lifestyle thinking it's so bad, and then we move up in life and we think it's gonna be way much better, but there's shit there too that's gonna fuck us up, that's gonna psychologically have us thinking shit. And that's when I was like, damn, like, you really gotta prepare yourself, not just physically but mentally, for every state that you advance in life. And that's one thing I told myself too. I was like, if I move up, like, I have to start taking care of my mental state too. Like,
That's important.
I can't just be fucking around and like fucking off whenever I want. No, like, this is all investment. Like, I gotta make sure I invest my time in something that I'm gonna reap benefits. Make sure I invest myself fully to something that's good and not try to fuck off, because that little temporary could fuck up your whole permanent. And is it worth it? It's not.
Yeah, that's true, bro. I think the mental side of things is very important, making sure you're there mentally and shit. That way you can know where you want to put your time and effort and just go full throttle. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But yeah, bro, I mean, going back to, the barber thing, what is David doing to level up?
So I always tell people, like, I love cutting hair, but it's not something I want to retire doing. So like right now I am trying to search different avenues of how to make more income, or just another source of income to add on for now. But it's like I was talking to Chad, I was telling Chad, I was like, this is just a stepping stone for me. Like, cutting hair, I'm so grateful for all the opportunity it's brought me. Like, I've met so many people that are willing to help me out because of barbering. I've met the most generous, genuine people through cutting hair. Like, I've had some of the deepest conversations cutting hair. And really, that's where a lot of the wisdom that I've learned is through cutting hair, because the days that I woke up thinking, damn, my life is fucking tough, or shit, my childhood was shit, I could be cutting up somebody that's smiling, but he tells me about his childhood, and it's
worse.
It's way worse. And I'm like, really? I just need to start watering my grass, bro. Like, bro, it's brown because I'm letting it be brown. But
we tend to complain a lot, bro. That's the fucking thing about us. And like, we just find any way to complain about shit and not look at what we have and be grateful for, that we got roof, we got food on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got it way worse, bro. There's some people can't walk. They can't see, and they're more grateful. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like, shit. Like, we just need to fucking shut our mouth and just do shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, start, going to work and shit. So yeah, that's definitely a good one, bro.
And I think we just gotta like really reflect on not just the negative shit that's going on in our life. Like, we tend to not reflect on the positive shit that's going on in our life. Like, I have a buddy, I was talking to one of my buddies, and his buddy got in a motorcycle wreck, and now he's paralyzed. And I was like, that's crazy how his life changed, like in a second. And he was doing something he loved, like he was riding a motorcycle. And I was telling my buddies, like, dude, if I was in that situation, I would, like, it kind of made me want to write a will, like, now, saying, like, if I'm ever in a state where I can't walk no more, like, don't even try to bring me back. But I'm like, that's some selfish ass shit to do. Like, there's people that love me. Like, why would I do that? And then I was thinking to myself too, like, there's people that are blind. There's people that are deaf. and they're living happy lives.
Yeah.
And I'm over here talking about like, fuck that, pull the plug. Like,
fuck, I don't know, bro. I don't know
That's
about
some
that.
fucked up shit.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Shit, if I get to the point where I can't move,
it's scary.
Goodbye.
It's scary, bro.
Fuck.
It's scary. Like, it's a scary realization. There's a lot of things that we take for granted, and there's a lot of things that we don't think about, but we should be thinking about. People have it way harder than us, but people make their lives look way more happier than we are, or they are happier than we are. But we're just so gravitated to wanting to be something forcefully instead of working on it that we start to hate ourselves for not.
And impatience too is a big one.
For not getting to that level. Like, sometimes I wake up, I'm like, man, why the fuck am I not successful? Like, more successful.
Patience.
Like,
that's what it comes down to.
I know I got it in me. Like, why the fuck am I not there yet? And I'm just kind of like, nah. If I'm not
self-doubt too.
Yeah, I tell myself too, like, if I'm not there, it's because I don't deserve it. Like,
you're not ready.
Yeah, I'm not ready. Like, I don't deserve it yet. Like, what have I done? What have I actually done to deserve that? And then that's when I think, like, yeah, I got to go harder. Like, this shit's not going to be overnight. So now I'm like, nah, I got to get my shit together. Like I said, man, people have it way harder than we do. Like, imagine not being able to hear. Imagine not being able to see. Like, that's such a scary thing. Like, how I was telling you that me and my lady been traveling. When I'm out there, that's like my key senses is like seeing and hearing. So like the world's kind of like hard to visualize when you don't have that.
No, yeah, for sure, bro. And it's like what you said, a decision that you make, it can really change your life. And I always keep that shit in mind, right? Like the motorcycle thing. Maybe if he said like, no, I'm not going to, ride my motorcycle today, he probably would have been fully, the accident would have happened. But that shit is scary, bro. It's just like, you can't also live paranoid of like, damn, what if? But yeah, motorcycles are a thing that I fucking respect, bro. And I like them, but bro, there's no fucking seatbelt. There's no you make a mistake, you're done. Or the person that's driving close to you makes a mistake, you're done. You could be driving perfectly fine, and then boom, somebody can just be like, oh fuck, I didn't see him, or you know what I'm saying? So it's scary. It's scary.
And now that we're talking about that, well, I don't know if you know, or I don't know if Darwin, you told him.
The what?
I work for Telemundo, so like I'm out there. I'm a photographer, so I'm out there like shooting the scenes and the accidents, homicides. And
you see a lot of shit, huh?
Yeah, and then recently I talked to a lady. When was it? I think Monday. And she was about to cry because like she lost everything, like her house with her kids, and then like not her kids obviously. They weren't in the house, but like luckily everyone's out, and she just needed help. And I was like, I can like reach out, at least help you, or put you on Facebook, or like put you on the news. Is the least I can do,
Right.
Because I mean,
it's
hard
crazy
for a lot of people.
No, yeah, it's all about like your life can change in a second. Like that's a crazy ass shit. Like
crazy, bro.
It can, for good or for bad. It can go either way, But
and probably not even like, it doesn't even have to be in a second too, man. Your life could change in like a year. Like in a year, you'll look back and you're like, damn, how did I get here? You like, while you're in that process, you don't notice it, but when you're like a year in and you look back, you're like, damn, I've came a long ways. And like, I was talking to my buddy about the motorcycle because I want a motorcycle myself. And he was like, think about it, bro. In a car, you got doors, you got the front of the vehicle, the back of the vehicle to protect you. When you're on a motorcycle, you are the doors, you are the front of the vehicle, you are the back of the vehicle. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to wait a little bit on that.
I think if anything, bro, I would probably do like a little razor. The motherfucker's been going hard. That's what I would do instead of like, it's four wheels. It's like, they're a little pricey up there, but I'll probably do that over a motorcycle. I'm going to be honest, because I do like motorcycles, but just respect, bro. It's just, I've seen in Puerto Rico, I saw a lot of my friends just lose their lives just because of that, miscalculation, going too fast. So Nah, not for me, bro.
It's all fractions, bro, like fractions of seconds. Like, and it's just impulsive decisions that drivers can make too. Like a driver could switch lanes so quick, and you're going to be the consequence of their decision.
Yeah. But, so yeah, you're finding ways, bro, to level up.
For sure.
Finding ways.
One of the ways I'm trying to level up, I'm actually talking to a designer right now. I'm working on a t-shirt. So I'm trying to drop this t-shirt for the beginning of the year. So from here till December, I'm actually gonna give myself enough time, like, because we've been trying to like
So
trade
are you
designs.
working on a brand, or what are you?
Yeah, I already have my brand. So my brand is Disciples. And my brand Disciples, I'm actually working on my first drop of long sleeves. And I actually have some other stuff that I don't want to announce yet. But the long sleeves are actually being talked right now with designers. And I actually emailed them before this. And we're trying to come to like I send designs and they're going to kind of send me like drafts already finished. Like, hey, like, is this something?
Right.
Yeah.
So you can approve it.
Yeah. That's pretty much what we're doing. But I'm actually really excited because this past year, like, I've been getting so much motivation, like, by Leo, like my buddy Leo.
Shout out Leo. Yeah.
Shout out to Leo. Like, Leo was somebody that I told him, I was talking to him like a week ago, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous about doing this. And then he was like, what are you nervous about? And then I was like, man, like, what if it's not what I want? He's like, you're not gonna know if it's what you want if you don't do it.
That's true.
And I was just like, damn, you're right. And he was like, and if it's not what you want, then make it something you want. Like, keep fucking rebuilding designs until you get what you want. And I was like, damn, you're right. And then he was like, you got it. You just need to stop fucking thinking about it so hard.
It goes back to the self-doubt, right?
Yeah.
I get those like every once in a while where it's like, am I going to make it? Am I going to fucking, like you get that self-doubt, and that's like the worst thing. At least a lot of people don't overcome it. At least I'll be like, nah, shut the fuck up, bro. I feel like that's just like the dark side of me is just talking shit. I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. I'm going to make it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do my shit. This is all I'm going to put my energy and time into, and like, I'm going to do it. But we all get that, bro. We all get that
Same
shit.
thing you told Izzy.
Exactly. Just dip your toes into shit. Do shit, because that's how you're going to get better. That's how you're going to master. You're going to find different styles, and as long as you're having fun with it, I think that's what, like I said, we're restructuring this whole podcast and shit. So now we got to see where we want to go, what direction we want to take and shit. And like, I got to do it. I'm not going to wait and be like, oh, let me behind the scenes, see what I'm going to do, or not even throw episodes out. So it's like, fuck it. Let's go in.
And that's what Leo was telling me too. He was like, one thing that's going to help you a lot is you just got to be so open to constructive criticism. He was like, just be open to it. Like, don't close it off. And I was like, yeah, I know. He's like, no, I'm serious. Like, when you open your mind to constructive criticism, you're just going to get way better. You're just going to get more ideas from different places. And he was like, and maybe if it's not ideas that grasp your attention, like, you never know. Mm-hmm. It might be something you might want to consider in the future. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So then I was like, last week, I was like, nah, fuck this. And I don't know if you've been noticing, but I've been collecting fitted hats. And I've been collecting so many hats. And I was like, damn, I'm going to buy all these shirts for this much. I was like, damn, that's kind of pricey. And then I kind of told myself, like, man, I've been buying hats for people that don't even know me, like from people that don't know me. And I'm putting money in their pockets. Like, and that's not off no hater shit, but I was like, I need to stop doing that. And I need to invest in myself.
Right.
So I'm like, that money.
How many hats do you have, bro?
Damn, bro, I have like 30.
Because every fucking time I see a new snap with the hat.
Yeah, it's like.
They hard as fuck.
Appreciate it, bro.
I didn't know they were that expensive, because, I mean, I used to buy a lot of hats, but I stopped just because I got the hair popping and shit. So I stopped, and I remember going to Lids and buying a fucking hat for $30, a fucking New Era one. What's the other one? The snapback ones, and 30, 35 was the most. But then I see these are hard.
Yeah.
Fucking what, 100?
Yeah, they could.
So what's so special about them?
Man, so like a lot of them, it's really like color, like the color wave and the hype.
And the designs and shit?
The badge too, like on the side. Like the badge has a lot to do with it too. But there's like certain color waves that people hype like really high. Like there's like sandstorms, like the New Era sandstorms. Those go for like 120. I'm not paying 120.
That's
but
wild.
They go for 120. I'm like, fuck that.
It's not like a fucking $20 increase. This is talking about triple,
triple
the price.
I mean, resale in general is getting crazy.
Out of hand, bro. Out of fucking hand.
Yeah, and that's what I call myself too, because with those 30 hats, I like started to do my numbers. And I was like, damn, in 2 months, I spent like close to $1,500 on hats.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was like, this is bad. And then I told myself, I was like,
yeah,
and that's when I told myself, I was like, I'm going to buy a hat, but sell a hat. So I've been having like, I'll sell a hat, and what I make off of that buys my hat. But I'm like, nah, I just need to stop completely. Like, this is an addiction that I don't want. And And I was like, I just need to start working on myself, and all the money I make, I just need to like dump that into myself. So that's what I've been trying to do too, because I'm really big on wanting to like create my own brand, because I'm really into fashion. Like I do love fashion, but I'm really also into traveling, and that's something I want to do. Like I want to
Travel is my thing, bro.
Bro.
Fuck, I've been preaching that shit for the longest now, and I'm already planning next year's trips and shit. So talk to me about that, brother. How does one hack a trip?
Really, you gotta. The thing that a lot of people mess up in when they go traveling, what I notice, is they spend so much money on the Airbnb they're gonna be at. And I always ask myself, why do you spend so much on the Airbnb if really all you're gonna do is sleep and shower there? That's literally,
That one's unlimited, bro. Yeah, that one and that one's unlimited. This one's the one you got to worry about.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling them. I was like, man, why do people spend so much money? They're not even gonna be there the whole time. Like, if you go traveling somewhere, you want to be looking at the views, like experiencing stuff around there, conversating with locals, interacting with locals. So when we went to Tulum, I told my girl, I was like, find the cheapest Airbnb you can find. And then she was like, hey, I found one for $25 a night. And then I was like, okay, like, what's the pros and cons? And she was like, well, it's little as hell. I was like, well, like, how little is it? She's like, the bed's like twin size. I was like,
Good enough.
you down to sleep on a twin size? She was like, yeah, let's get it. I was like, we gonna be eating breakfast at the place? She's like, no. I was like, there's cheap spots that we can eat breakfast at. Fuck that, we don't have to cook there. So we got like a little hotel that was like literally the size of this room. And we made it work, and it was $25 a night. But I mean, we ate good. We went to the beach, and it wasn't bad. I think like in a week, I spent like $800.
That's good.
And that was with my airplane
Tulum.
ticket, yeah.
Yeah.
But my favorite trip so far that we've done is we went to Utah, and it's
Road trip?
yeah, we did a road trip. So we took our dogs, bro, on a road trip.
How was that?
Oh my God. Like the first 4 hours, like Arizona, our newest addition to the family, she's a puppy, and she like knows zero boundaries. It's like the whole time we're driving, she's trying to lick our ears and shit. I'm like, girl, you better get your ass back. But it was cool.
Would you do it again?
I would.
So, okay.
Yeah, I think they really learned how to be patient with each other.
Wait, what was that at?
We went to Utah.
Oh, Utah.
Yeah. So we got to Arizona first. Because that's where my dad stays. And we found out that the place we were going to go visit didn't allow dogs. So I told my dad, like, hey, can we leave the dogs here? He was like, yeah, because he has a big ranch. We left the dogs there and went to Utah. Utah is one of the most breathtaking places I've ever been to.
I've seen like, as far as like images and shit.
It's beautiful. Like, I haven't even posted pictures from our trip because I told myself, I'm like, these do no justice. And honestly, I don't care what people see my trips about. Like, that's a me thing. It has nothing to do with them. So when we went to Utah, when you get to Zion National Park, you're driving to get there, and it's already beautiful. Like, you're already seeing beautiful scenery. And then you get to, like, the checkpoint where you buy your pass to go in, and there's, like, a tunnel. And then you're going through the tunnel, and the tunnel's like a mile deep in the mountain. But it has like little windows. It has 2 windows in that mile. And you're passing by, and the first window, you're like, what the hell? Like, that was beautiful. And then you pass through the second window like fast too, and you're like, damn. And then like the exit, bro, it's like, what? Like, the way I describe it to people is like, I was like, damn, this is what an ant feels like when they're crawling around. Like, the mountains look like they're trying to hug you. Like,
yeah,
it was just
unreal type shit.
It's phenomenal.
Fuck.
It's phenomenal. Like,
for New Year's, I'm going do a road trip to Colorado.
do it, bro.
I'm fucking excited.
Do it, bro.
I am excited.
Do it. And that's one thing you got to tell yourself too. Like, no matter what comes to you on the road trip, like, just do it. So when we took that road trip, originally we had bought like camping stuff. And we were like, cool, we're going to buy a camp. We're going to pay for a campground in Zion. And I look up online, and we're looking up through everything we could find. And they're like, everything is sold. So I'm like, dude, where are we going to stay? And then my girl was like, shit, like, I don't want to stay at a hotel. I'm like, the hotels are probably booked too. So everything was booked. And I was like, man. So we found, I forgot what's the acronym that they use for it, but it's practically like backroad camping. So there's like these abandoned roads that you just go through and you just set up camp, bro, in the middle of the woods. But it was the most beautiful thing because I really enjoy coffee in the mornings when I go camping. And we showed up to a little patch of grass, and we're like, let's just set up right here. And we set up and we cooked some dinner for the night. And we're like, tomorrow morning, we're going to go camp. We're going to go hike the Narrows. The Narrows is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. And it's extraordinary. And I recommend every single person to go. But if you go, take it as like a spiritual retreat. Like, leave your phone alone. Like, if you want to capture a photo, capture it, but don't do the whole.
Nobody wants to see that shit on Snapchat. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, not even that. Like, live for live for yourself. Like, you don't need other people.
Nobody wants to see that shit.
Yeah, you don't need another person to tell you like, oh my gosh, you're hiking or you living such a cool life.
Seeking validation. That's what it comes
like
down
you don't
to.
have to do that. But like, I told myself I'm gonna wake up like at 4 a.m, 5 a.m. I'm gonna set up my coffee pot. I woke up at 5 a.m. It was pitch black, and I opened my tent and I look up and I could see every single star in the sky. Like, the Milky Way was right on top of me. And I just woke up my girl. I was like, babe, wake up. She woke up. She was like, what? I was like, look at the sky. She was like, what the fuck? You could see everything. Like, shooting stars were just passing by. It was just the most beautiful thing ever. And we got up early and we went to go to the Narrows. And as you go deep into Zion, it's just, you see the most beautiful like rock formations, the most beautiful trees.
Like, to me, it's wild, bro, that people don't fuck with traveling. To me, it's just like,
it's insane.
I just like, man, this is the we got a planet here that has a lot of fucking beautiful places that to me is just so eye-opening and like such a humbling experience. And it's like, it stays in your memory forever. It's like, fuck.
For sure. And I tell people too, like, so my lady, she really got into hiking once we got together. She was already kind of into it on her own, but I kind of grew up in the wilderness. Like, my dad's a lumberjack, and we always did jobs that were like renovations close to the woods, like where it was cabins. So I was always kind of around it, and I always had a love for it. But when I got with my girl, we started doing a lot of hiking, and even the hiking we did here in Oklahoma, I told her, I was like, how do you feel right now when we're in the woods? She was like, peaceful. I was like, but what do you feel? Like, what do you feel? She was like, I'm happy, peaceful. I was like, do you realize you don't care what's on Instagram right now? Do you notice you don't care what's on TikTok right now? You don't care about what your friends are doing. You're just literally walking through the woods, appreciating every little thing here. I was like, this is what home feels like. Because when we're at home, we're on our phones, looking at shit that has nothing to do with us, that isn't going to serve us no good. And I was like, humans belong in the wilderness. Like, we don't belong in houses.
We're too modern.
Yeah, like, we don't.
Too much commodities and shit.
Yeah, we don't belong there. Like, that's not where we belong. Like, think about it. It's the most depressing thing ever. Like, I'm going to live in a house for my whole life, and then I'm just going to die.
No, not that. You're going to live in a house and you're going to work in a system that's like training you to
play a role.
To do every repetitive shit all the way until you're 65 so you can retire and get a goddamn check to survive.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like...
It sucks, man. It's just the thought of it is like so sad. Like, even when we were out there, I was telling my girl, I was like, some people died and never saw Zion National Park. They never
saw a beach.
They never saw the beach. They never seen the rock formations we seen. So when you travel through the Narrows, it's like considered one of the harder hikes because you're literally knee deep in water, like for like 5 miles. Fuck. Yeah, so we're literally walking in water the whole time. And they actually broke into my lady's car here in Oklahoma, and we had our GoPro in there. But we had like some of the most beautiful footage that it hurt so much. Like when it got stolen, because there was times we were literally like...
Why leave equipment in the car, man?
I know, man.
That's rule number one.
Rule number one.
Rule number two is when you travel and you have footage, if you can fucking back it up.
Yeah.
That's one. You have to learn that. Like
I broke both of those.
Yeah.
But like there was like some footage that we had where we were like chest high in water. And it was such a beautiful feeling because we're hiking through this place and you're with other people from around the country, around the world, and they're doing this hike too. And there's spots where you can't reach, so you need help, like somebody to help you up. And I remember I was going through the hike, and some guy from like Australia helped me out. Like he was like, "You need a hand?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he helped me up. Once he helped me up, I helped my girl up. But it was just the most beautiful thing ever, because you're walking through literally like a small canyon, and it's just a river flowing in the middle. And it's just, it's like the most.
That shit wild, bro. I'm so excited, bro, because it's like, man, it's on my list. And that's why I had to level up when it came to money, because it's like, if I want to enjoy traveling and fucking doing things, and I got to level up. So to me, it's just, when I travel, I get to obviously disconnect, but I also get to do like the travel vlog shit, which makes me better as like a filmmaker, as a creative, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I get to get the drones, I get to get the GoPro, I get to, you know, just kind of put it together story for this. So this road trip, I'm planning to do some, you know, a story behind it. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, but I'm mapping it out where it's like, let's make this road trip a little movie. I'm excited for that shit.
That, and if you're really wanting to travel next year, I really recommend you to just grab a tent and like, just wherever destination you go to like a grocery store, fill up a little cooler with food, and just cook all your food over a little campfire. Like, just do that. Because really, like, we went to Utah and we just spent the most money, like, with fuel. That was it. We were camping.
I'm gonna have to plan a trip with you, bro.
Yeah, bro. And really, like,
you can teach me and shit, because fuck.
I tell people too, like, one of the most like beautiful places you could start off with traveling is Arizona. So like, if you go to Arizona, like, let's say in May is like a beautiful time to go, because it's starting to get warm in Arizona. But Arizona's like the center of everything. Like, Colorado's right there, Utah's right there, the Grand Canyon's right there, Lake Powell's right there, Sedona's right there. Sedona's like one of the most beautiful places you'll go to as well. Like, they have the most beautiful rivers. They have red rocks, like beautiful formations. They have arcs. I don't know if you know what arcs are, but it's like big rock bridges.
Oh yeah.
That's like formed naturally. But like, it's in the middle of everything. Everything is so accessible, and literally all you need is a tent, make a campfire, cook some food, bring your blanket, your dog, whatever, and you're good. Like, you don't need to go to an Airbnb and spend hundreds of dollars on an Airbnb. Just pick the right time to go. And if it's going to be a cold night, take an extra blanket. Like, you'll be all right.
That's big. I think that's because as I'm going to Colorado.
Save money.
As I'm going to Colorado, I'm looking at these Airbnbs, bro, and they're like $500 a night. And I get it, right? We're going New Year's. But I'm like, why the fuck the Airbnb? Like, why am I looking at this? Like, it's cool. Like, it's going to be cold and shit, but I want to also go out and explore.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't need to be looking at these expensive ass cabins. Like, let me just get some simple shit, because I want to go skiing and just see the mountains and all this crazy adventure. So it's like, fuck that. Like, I got to. Like,
you don't, I mean, really, like, if you're going to go with a group of friends and your plans to get fucked up, then, I mean, I guess, but, bro, like, that's what I was telling one of the guys at the shop. I was like, when you get drunk with people, like, what do you gain out of it? I've been drunk hundreds of times. I don't remember none of them. The times I do remember is like when I'm with really close friends, like with Leo, Ruben, and like my homie Joaquin and Chuy. That's like really the only time that I remember. But even then, I still have blank spots in between those nights. But when I go, I could tell you every little detail that I went through in Utah, like every single little detail. But when I was in Utah, it's like one of those situations where like you're looking at the wildlife, you're looking at the sounds. The way I see it is God is writing a song for you that nobody else will hear. Like the birds chirping, those birds will never chirp in that pattern ever again for anybody else, because that's how significant life is. The bushes will move a certain way. The trees will move a certain way. The water is going to feel a certain temperature. Like, God is literally writing you a song. Like, this is for you. Like, cherish it. You're seeing these formations and you're like, how do people not believe in God? Mm-hmm. Like, this is bigger than science. This is huge. And I'm just living in it. I'm living in a vessel that's not even mine. This body's not mine. My spirit is mine. It belongs to God too. But at the end of the day, you're going to die and they're just going to bury you or cremate you. So like, why not go travel? Why not go camp? But why go get drunk? Why go get fucked up? You're not gonna cherish that shit.
Yeah,
you know how
harming your body. You're right, bro. I feel that. Like, it's just
You're wasting it.
mentality. I think what comes up. You know.
Yeah, like me and my lady, we're trying to buy a van in the future and just live the van life. And that's literally all we really want to do. Just live a van life. I mean, I'm not somebody that cares about money. The only reason I would want money is just to help my family out, and of course do traveling like overseas that you do need money for. But I don't want to, like, I don't feed for it. Like, I don't go crazy for it, because I know when I'm in the wilderness, that shit doesn't matter. And I know it doesn't take a lot of money to be in the wilderness.
I been seeing those videos of people that like live that van life, and it shit sounds dope.
Van life is dope.
They can go around the states and like they'll park in this beautiful place and like, and they work from their computer.
Home, yeah.
Like, okay, I'll get in the van, do this little thing for 2 hours, and then go and explore, do this, do that. And that looks so peaceful, bro. Like,
well, that's what you gotta think about it, bro. Like, your van is like back in the day, people had horses or they had wagons or they walked on foot, and they were like nomads. They followed like their food. So like, if the buffalo went this way, fuck it, tomorrow we're gonna go sleep over there, and then the next day we're gonna sleep from there. So people are just migrating. That's really what the van is. You're just following wherever you want to go. But your home, you can't move your home and be like, come on, because your home is not a home. Like, an actual house is not your home. Like, that's not it. Your home is your spirit. Your home is your body. Your home is your mind. Where do you want to take that? What do you want to experience? Another place that's the most beautiful place too. So we were leaving Utah, and right there in Arizona, like at the border, there's this place called Antelope Canyon. We went to Antelope Canyon. And it's crazy, bro, because you got to buy a tour ticket from the Navajo Nation. It's like $60 an individual. It sounds pricey, but when you're in that canyon, it's worth every single dollar. So when you're walking to this canyon, it's literally flat. It just looks flat. And then you reach like this little entrance, and it's like a crack in the earth. But at the entrance, they have a stair that goes 100 feet down. So you're climbing the stair. Well, you're going down these stairs 100 feet down, but when you're in there, it's the most breathtaking place. The walls that the wind and the water created over time created these beautiful, smooth walls, bro. Like, the most beautiful.
Crazy how that shit works.
Beautiful, like, most beautiful thing ever. And when you're in there, you literally feel a spiritual cleanse. Like, you feel, like, relieved. But when you come back out, you're just like, damn, I only got to live that for a little bit. What's my excuse for not living that all the time? Like, I'm literally about to go home and go back to the same bullshit.
Damn, bro, it's crazy. Like, you're telling me all this shit, I'm like, damn, bro, we've been programmed to the wrong things. It's like fucking wild.
Bro. So this is the thing I was telling the guys. I'm like, I always try to, like, I pick something and then I think about it, and then once I feel like I solved it, I'm like, nah, I didn't solve this shit. There's more to it. And then I just keep digging and digging and digging and digging until I'm like, damn, this shit's getting kind of fucking sad and depressing. So you got to think about it. In the beginning of man, there was no currency. There was only hunters and gatherers. You guys played a role in society. You would accomplish these things. Some people in that group were smarter than others. Some people were stronger than others. So there was a separation of power in there. And what I feel is, like, with time, evil lurked, and evil comes with power. People just want that power over others. People created a currency to create a social status within each other. So they were like, there's the poor and there's the rich. So back then, there was hunters and gatherers. They started trading with each other. Once they started trading with each other, they're like, this isn't enough. Let's start bringing something else in. So they started bringing currency. How much does $1 really cost? We don't know.
We put the value in it.
We put the value on it. But that shit doesn't cost nothing. I could burn a fucking $100 bill right now. And if society was like, burn all the fucking money, let's help each other, then we'd all help each other. But society sees me burn that $100 and they're like, this motherfucker's ungrateful. Like, that $100 could do so much. And that's just how we're programmed. So that's what I was telling the guys. Like, if money was a real thing, the richest man on earth, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, they have enough money to give every single person in the world $1 million right now if they wanted to. But that doesn't get them anywhere. Because if you give a lot of these people that are not intellectually structured, they'll spend that money because they don't have the financial literacy to manage that money, and they'll end up back to where they were at. So they know money's not everything. So what are they doing now? They're buying land. Land is real. Because if the richest people in the world, they could say, I'm going to buy the world right now. But they don't buy the world because you can't buy the world because a dollar can't compare to the world. Nobody is going to agree to like, yeah, you could have the fucking world, give us trillions. No, because the world is real. And money, we put the value to it. But the earth already has its value. So that's what I was telling people. I'm like, food and land is what really holds a value. Hunger is real. Hunger is real. Having $10 in my pocket is not real. Hunger is real. There's people that are hungry right now. That's real. And that's what they're doing, bro. Jeff Bezos is one of the biggest farmers in the United States and the world because he knows if he can control the food source, he can control people. When you train a dog with a treat. So they're going to train us with treats.
Facts.
That's wild. Yeah, it's true.
And that's what I tell people. There's things that are there's things that are bigger than us.
If anything, buy land and start fucking farming.
Yeah, cultivating for yourself. That's what we were talking about. Me and Steve-O. I was telling Steve-O, I was like, who's to say that the life we live is normal? Because Scissorhand's son, he like cultivates gardens in his backyard. I think his kids were all born naturally, like in a pool. Like, it's the most beautiful thing ever. And I was telling Steve-O, like, I think that's the way we're supposed to be living. We don't have to be living this way. I think we're supposed to be growing our own crops, like cooking our own food from scratch, hunting, like not worried about what we wear. I think that's the way we're supposed to be living. Bro, it's
wild because I think about all this shit. It's just like there's certain people that don't have, they're closed-minded. So I'm going to Target to buy something and I'm just walking through the aisles and I'm like, bro, it's crazy how we have all these commodities, but we have to pay a price for it, right? So for example, we got all the food right in a shelf where we just pick with that whatever the fuck we want, but that comes with the price because at the end of the day, it's all about money and capitalism, right? So I can pick these bags of Doritos, but I'm sacrificing shit that can damage me, like the chemicals that are in it and like a lot of foods there that I can just pick out and just hand them the money. That's the price I pay for that is like, this shit is going to fuck me up, my health, instead of me doing like what we're supposed to do, which is hunt, you know, and do it, crops. Grow our own stuff, do it the healthy way, not worry about like even pesticides on the vegetables and all these chemicals and all this bullshit that they put. So it's like we sacrifice that because of the commodity, because of like, it's easy. Just go to the supermarket and get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's definitely like just wild to think about. Just wrap your head around like how life has changed and like what we think is normal. It's not, you know?
No, it's not.
It's wild. Yeah.
It's not because you got to think about it too. Like we live to impress others. That's literally all we're doing. We're just living to impress others. We all want to be viewed a certain way. We all want to feel that power, that social status that we're doing okay. But for what? That's not for us. That's why, like, when I'm traveling, when I'm, like, hiking, I don't care about anybody. As selfish as that sounds, I don't care about anybody. Because at the end of the day, the casket's going to look the same for every single individual. Mm-hmm. We're all going to die. We're born to die. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as we're born, our clock is ticking. Time's against us. And the only thing that's promised in life is you're going to die. Mm-hmm. How do you want to die? Do you want to die impressing others, or do you want to die living the life that you're going to be satisfied when you die? You're going to be like, I lived a good-ass life. I lived a good-ass life with the person that loves me. I'm doing the shit that I love to do. I got to see the world. That's a beautiful ass life. I'm ready to go.
It's wild because, like, people, you seen it. People just choose to have a fucked up life, and you choose it. You know, you choose to be with the person you really like, don't like. You know, and like you're there with them because you're accustomed to them, right?
For sure.
You choose the shitty job that you hate every fucking day and shit. It's because you want to make that decision. But there's other people that like they're traveling, right? Because they choose it. You know, they are with the love of their life. They, you know, and it's like it's all decisions, and we are in control of that shit, man. I think that's like it's wild to me. It's like, damn, like it took me a minute to kind of. And that's like, we have only one life. We're going to be young once. Yeah. Time is ticking. That shit is something you can't get back. It's time. Money comes and go. Time. For sure. You got to fucking like, it's the last time we're going to be young, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, bro, do the shit you want. Yeah. Ask the girl out you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, ask her out. Be like, hey, shorty, I like you. I've been watching you and shit. Like, you know, go to that place you wanted to go. Like, it's just, it's simple, man. We just make it so complicated, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's one thing I'm really grateful for is that I found somebody that doesn't. So, like, when we go traveling, like, my lady's not trying to. We're not trying to, like, buy the most expensive food when we go to places. She's not trying to eat 5-star restaurants. She'll be like, hey, let's just go to the grocery store and cook some shit. Of course, if we're in, like, a place that's cheap, like Tulum, then we'll get some breakfast. But, like, Utah, we're like, we cooked every night. We cooked every morning. We packed snacks. That was it. And we didn't spend that much money. But you got to be careful who you pick as your partner, because some people pick partners that they want to go eat at 5-star restaurants. They want to go pay hundreds for an experience. Yeah. And really, you just got to be careful with that, because in Arizona, there's people that like live off, like they live in their van, but they have their kayak on the top of their van and shit. People will go pay hundreds to go do a tour on a kayak. But I'm like, bro, the kayak itself costs $100, $200. Like, go buy the kayak and go live that experience on your own.
You can go whenever you want. Just
take that shit with you. But like, so many people, they save money and they just want to blow that shit. Like, there's some people that I know make like $1,000 and they're like, oh, I'm good to go. I got $1,000 in my account. Let's go on a trip. And when we come back from that trip, we're going to save another $1,000. I'm like, fuck no. Fuck that shit. I'm going to save as much money as I can.
That's crazy, bro. And like, even like last episode, when we talked about, relationships and shit, and like, it seemed like you got it, bro. You got it with your girl, you know what I'm saying? Now y'all been what?
We've been together it's a year and 6 months. We're going on 7 months.
Yeah.
And I could tell you it's probably, so I was telling my lady, I was like, look, you might not have seen it like this, but from the moment I was born to when I was like 18, 20 years old, I wasn't living. I'm literally like preparing myself. But in those years, you're prepping, but you don't know what you're prepping for. So when I became 20, 21 years old, I saw life for what it really was. I'm like, damn, the shit that I got prepped for since the moment I was born to now really makes no fucking sense. The only shit that I soaked in was like my manners and how to speak to people. But I didn't know how to like choose my partner. I didn't know how to like love properly. Like, I probably learned how to hate more than I learned how to love. So like, I told my girl, I was like, I barely started living my life. So now that I've been with you for a year and 6 months, I kind of practically feel like I've been with you for a long ass time, because I got with you when I started living. And she was like, damn, like, I didn't see it like that. I'm like, I could have dated like a girl in high school and shit or whatever, but that shit don't matter. But I think one of the things that really helped me and my girl is we communicate. And I tell her, like, even if you disagree with me, all I ask is that you respect what I'm saying. And if I disagree with you, I'm going to respect what you're saying. And even if I think you're over exaggerating or, let's say, blowing things out of proportion, I respect that, because I hope one day when I feel like I'm like being too much, that you could respect that too. You know what I mean? It's just respecting each other's points. Because really, you're not going to find somebody perfect. It's impossible.
Everybody has flaws.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get to. Like, you're not going to find somebody perfect. Why? Because you're not perfect. And a lot of people get so caught up in trying to find the one They don't develop themselves to becoming the one. You got to become the one before you start looking for the one. And even when you find the one, you got to continue working on yourself as well as working on your relationship.
It's a constant, like, you're working on yourself and you're also working on the relationship. And that's like,
and you're going to find a lot about yourself in a relationship. Like with my lady, bro, we like moved in immediately. And
then for the most part, that's a red flag. And I say it in as like, that can fuck up your relationship. Doing that, but hey, it can work out. Yes. In your case, it did work out.
Yeah, we didn't go through it.
And I'm glad it did.
Yeah, thank God. We didn't go through a dating phase. Like, it was literally like, hey, you trying to move in? Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And that's how it went. And I don't regret.
Wow, that's fucking wild.
And I don't. Yeah.
Were you scared though?
But no, hell no.
The crazy thing is, bro, it's like it's that, I get it, bro. Like, it's that stage where you're like, what we call it, the honeymoon phase and shit, where you want to see them every fucking day. So you probably was like, fuck it, just move in and shit.
But the thing is too, like, I kind of told myself, like, there's no right way to do this.
There's not.
There's no right way to do this. And if shit goes sideways, I'm gonna learn. Fuck it. And exactly. if I fucking fall on my ass, fuck it. I'm gonna have to get up. But it's been good. But I tell people, like, people all the time are like, man, your relationship looks so badass. I'm like, look, we battle. Like,
I know that.
We fight. Like, we fight. We argue. We disagree with each other a lot of times. And that's the same shit I tell my girl. Like, I know I'm way more wrong than I am right because I'm a human. There's no way that I'm right more than I'm wrong. And I told her, like, that's something that's helping me in this relationship. And that's one thing that's helping us is because she sees it the same way. We're not always right. We communicate. If something bothers us, we talk about it. Because I had the bad habit of, I know a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this. I was somebody that if something bothered me, I'd just stay quiet. I'd just shut down.
Not good.
Not good at all. It's not good at all. Because I was reading an article, and the problem with that is that eventually you toxic puke. That's what it's called. So let's say something bothers me Monday.
So you're talking about it bothers you that maybe your girl did
a disagreement.
Something, yeah.
So let's say it bothers me and I don't say shit. And for the rest of the day, I'm like, I'm all right. She's like, you okay? I'm all right, whatever. And then Wednesday comes and let's say she does something again that bothers me. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm not going to say shit. And then Friday comes, I'm like, man. And then Saturday comes, and I'm like, you know what? Monday you did this shit and you had me fucked up Monday. You did this shit on Wednesday and you had me fucked up this day. Friday you had me pissed off. Like, hell no, we're not doing that shit.
Makes it worse.
And then she's gonna ask you, if you felt this way, why didn't you say it the day that it bothered you? And I'm like,
because maybe I didn't notice it and I could have changed it if you told me right then and there. I'm
yeah.
like, oh shit, wait, I'm doing this? Oh, my bad.
And you don't lose nothing. Like, you don't lose nothing. So that's something I really worked on. And that's something I told Alex. I was like, Alex, because she told me, she was like, you need to start speaking up when something bothers you. And I'm like, I'll work on it. And she's like, no, like, I'm serious.
It's weird, bro, because you're quick to fucking joke and be loud about that. You used to tell me, bro, you fat.
Yeah.
So you could have just like be like, hey, this bothers me.
Yeah.
So what do you think was like, why would you hold stuff back? Like what?
It's just the way I was taught. And really, like, a lot of the things we do, we don't realize it, but we're really learning all that shit from our parents. So, like, my mom and my dad, they were like that. Like, when they would argue with each other, if something bothered them, they would just shut down. So, like, later on in life, I learned, like, shit, if I'm mad about something, I'm not going to let them get the best of me. That's how I seen it. But you're so programmed to thinking, like, they're getting the best of me. Fuck that. Like, no, you got to let them know. So I grew up like that. And that's something I tell Alex now. I'm like, look, Alex, I'm trying to work on that. But you got to think about it. The silent treatment or just staying quiet or whatever, that's something I learned. It's gonna take me a while to change that habit. Just have a little bit of patience with me. And she's like, look, David, if you want to be quiet, that's fine. But tell me, how long are you gonna be quiet? I was like, I could do that. She's like, if you're pissed and you need 30 minutes to process shit, tell me, hey, I need 30 minutes. If you're pissed and you say, hey, I need an hour, tell me you need an hour. If you need a day to think about shit, tell me. She's like, because I don't want to go to sleep at night figuring out why you were pissed, but you knew why you were pissed, and I'm over here trying to figure out what I did throughout the whole day to piss you off. I'm like, damn, that's true.
That's valid.
That's true. I was like, and I can respect that, and I appreciate you. And that's one thing too in a relationship. We need to learn to appreciate each other. We need to tell each other like, hey, I appreciate you. You're speaking my love language. Thank you. And that's one thing me and Alex do. We go on breakfast dates like Sunday mornings. We'll eat, and right when we're done eating and we're like calm, we're settled, I'm like, hey, how do you feel? I feel good. How do you feel about a relationship? I feel good. I was like, is there anything you want me to work on? Well, you should like work on this a little bit more. I could dig that. And I'll tell her like, you've been doing this too. I could dig that. Cool.
Communication.
Accommodate to each other.
Clarity.
And that's what it is, bro. And a lot of people are like, people can't solve something they don't know. I can't, like, if you're in a relationship with somebody, they can't read your mind, bro.
Right.
And you can't read theirs.
Yeah.
The only thing that stands between y'all is both of y'all's mouthpieces. That's the only thing that's going to help that shit out. Communication. So you just got to talk to each other. And that's something I really, really learned with Alex. Like, I've always had good communication skills with people, but in relationships, I never did. And I realized it was just something that, and it's not like I was an asshole. It was kind of one of those things where, like, if I had enough, I had enough. I was like, fuck this. But with Alex, I really loved her. And I was like, I can't just say fuck this. So I learned how to communicate. And it's been one of the craziest experiences in my life. Because literally, like, from one day to the other, my life changed completely. Like, I was literally living alone. And then the next day, Alex moves in, and I have 2 dogs.
But I mean, like
you
said, you learn patience.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro. And that all you said is like, bro, right on the fucking dot. Cause like I'm right now, like I went through a breakup for a year, and now I started dating. Now, I'm dating this one person I like a lot. And I'm like, fuck, I want to be the best version I can be. I want to, learn and develop this relationship, this healthy relationship and shit. Because I'm to the point where it's like, if you want to grow with me, if you want to learn, if you want to travel and you want to have a healthy relationship and you show that, then let's do it. Let's go all in. And shit, I ain't playing around type shit. Like, I want to build an empire with somebody that wants to do it, And I'm in that phase where it's like, it's overwhelming because like, damn, I haven't gone out on a date in a year type shit. So now I got to like evaluate myself and see where can I keep leveling up? Where can I better my communication skills? And, how can you keep the spark? Because I know at a certain point, the spark might dim down a little bit. So I got to make sure, what can I do to keep it going, the fire? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all had the honeymoon phase, right? And then y'all passed to that next level where it's like, how can we keep like each other connected? How can we, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at. Like, I'm like, okay, I really like this person. I like this chick. I like her. I like the vibes, the energy when we hang out and stuff. So it's like, now I gotta,
And like, really, like, I have a buddy of mine that's going through a breakup. And I was telling him, like, why do you guys think like it failed between y'all? And then he was like, honestly, it failed because of me. I was like, why? He was like, I was entertaining some shit I should not be entertaining. I was like, okay, so now that you see the problem, what are you gonna do now? He was like, well, I'm gonna fix that so Shorty could see that I'm growing. I'm like, you're already making a mistake. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, why are you trying to fix something for the Shorty? Fix it for yourself.
Exactly.
Fix that shit for yourself. I was like, if you're fixing it for her, you're gonna fall back into the same shit. He was like, damn.
You have to work on yourself.
Work on yourself.
You have to love yourself. That's another one.
You got to become the one. And you got to understand too, bro, like, this is going to come off. Some people might not agree with this, but looks are so superficial, bro. Like, I know I'm not the most handsome individual in the world, but I know my personality is unique. Like, I know that's something I could work on. My appearance is not something I could work on. Like, I'm going to go bald. I'm going to get wrinkly. I'm going to age. But my personality, that's what I can work on. And if I'm gonna get with somebody else, their personality is what's gonna last permanently.
True.
Like your companion's looks, they're only gonna last
For so long, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I think my lady's gonna. I tell her all the time, like I feel bad if we have boys. She's like, why? I'm like, because they're gonna have the hot mom. Like their friends are gonna be like, hey, let's go over to so and so's house. His mom's, you know. I'm just like, I'm gonna feel bad, but that's what I tell people. Like, chase personalities too. Like, learn to love each other, communicate with each other. When you're with her, turn your phone off. You know, that's one thing I catch myself sometimes doing with Alex. Like, we could be getting lunch or something and we're like on our phones and I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, fuck this. Yeah, fuck this shit. Like, this is not going to happen. So I pull my phone away. Sometimes, like on Sunday, sometimes I leave my phone at home or I leave it in the car and I don't even look at it all day because time is something that's not promised. Like, you don't know when it's going to end and you don't want your last thought to be like, damn, I had dinner and I was on my phone the whole time. And that's the thing too, like me and Alex, we'll do like little shit. We'll go on walks. We'll take the dogs to the park. We'll paint. We'll talk to each other. She says that some of the best time she has with me is when where it's like 2 a.m. and we're just talking to each other. Like from 12 to 2 a.m, we'll just like be talking to each other about crazy shit about life. We had a full conversation yesterday about bread. I was like, who the fuck came up with bread? She was like, I don't know. I was like, literally, somebody was like, I'm going to cut this plant, let it dry up. I'm going to process it, add water, and add other fucking ingredients from earth, and I'm going to make bread. And we just sat there and talked about bread for like an hour.
Interesting. But you only can do it with with certain people.
With certain people. Yeah, and there's only, that's the thing that I tell people that's going to make you fall in love with somebody that picks your brain properly. But when you find somebody that picks your brain properly, they start to know you so much, and you're also starting to pick the person that's going to learn how to piss you off the fastest too. And that's the thing I tell my girl. I was like, I love you, but you're the only person that can get me mad instantly, and she knows it. And I know I'm the person that can get her mad instantly. But that's when respect comes into the picture. If I push those buttons, I'm not respecting you because I know what gets you mad. I know what triggers you. I know what crossing the boundary is. So communication, that's where it comes to. Hey, I don't like when people do this. Like, I don't like when you do this. And if it's something that's like, shit, I can't change that, then they're not the one.
Yeah.
But if you're like, this is something I could work on, then work on it.
Interesting.
That's true.
Yeah. What about you, bro? What you been up to? I've been seeing you
I'm
lately
back
posting with a little shorty.
Ex, to be honest.
That's your ex? Oh, shit.
But we like he was saying, like, you know, I've known her for a long while now, and we had a break and she was like doing her thing, you know, I was doing my thing, and after that she was like, I want another shot, you know, and I was like, okay, well, we already know what I expect, you know. I told her straight up, and I was like, well, if you want to really do this, like,
let's give it a shot.
We'll take our some more time, like, for ourselves, and like get to know each other a little bit more.
Was it like a long break? Y'all took a long.
Yeah, it was like 8 months.
Oh yeah, that's plenty of time to reflect and like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you guys get back, it's like y'all starting kind of like from zero and shit. You know, so okay.
And then she realized that, you know, the guy she was with before, like, he wasn't shit. So like,
and sometimes they gotta go through that shit. You know, I mean, they gotta go through it. You know, it's like
one of her friends at a party that she invited me to. So like, they always come back.
Yeah,
because they know what's, you know, the worth of them being with like that one person who actually cared about the little things. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Always the little things. You know, so
that's crazy because my buddy that I told you he was going through a breakup. He was like, man, if I get back with her, I'm going to treat her so different and shit. I was like, bro, when you get back with her, let me give you some advice. Start over. Take her on dates. Don't have sex as the main thing in your head. Like, we're going to go on a date and then I'm going to fuck tonight. Don't do that. That shit will fuck it up because then you're going to expect that every single time you go on a date. Nah, bro, get to know each other. Take her on a walk. Go fucking eat a fucking sandwich together at the park. Do little things like that that's going to help you guys actually get to learn each other. Because once you guys get to learn each other, the intimacy comes more intense. Your intimacy is more pure because you're starting to get to know somebody. Because when you're sleeping around with people, it's easy to get naked for somebody and do that shit. But it's not easy to open up to somebody and let people enter the depths of you.
Yeah, it's so different, bro. And like on some 100 shit, like when I went through the phase of fuck boy after I broke up, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna go, you know, slam me some little slimmies and shit. You just feel empty. And it like, just cause when you are used to, you know, having relationships with someone you love and shit, to now with some random bitch you met, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, damn, it's not the same. It's just not, you know? And I rather just connect, and like that just to me is worth more than just fucking random bitches, really. And real talk.
And that's what I was telling him. I was like, you just got to start all over. I was like, because let's say you hold around and you sleep with so many girls, at the end of the night when you're driving home or if she's leaving your spot or whatever, you don't care about them.
Bye.
Yeah, you don't care about them. And really the satisfaction is not even there. You're not like an hour later like, hell yeah, I hit. No, you're kind of like,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like you feel sad. Like, because I mean, you're
real talk.
On reality, you're just alone again.
Yeah, you're alone. You're back to where you were at. You don't even want to cuddle with them.
Nah, for real, like, bro, on some 100 shit, bro, like when I went through that breakup, I was like, fuck it. So I just went on my fuckboy phase, and I wasn't going too crazy, but like every once in a while, I'd be like, all right, let me go out, meet a chick, smash. As soon as I'm busting, bro, like I'm out. Let me order that Uber real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm like, damn, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? This ain't it. You know, it's just like some people find thrill and they like that shit, but for me,
they find thrill, bro. But you gotta really like. This is some of the shit that I dig deep into. That shit's an addiction, bro. Cheating is an addiction. Like that shit's literally an addiction. Being a hoe is an addiction. Like the people that live that, they don't see it at the moment. But it's what it is.
Well, it is an addiction. But for people like me and you and Marco, you know, maybe it's more of like we have goals and ambitions that I don't want to put my time into chasing and getting that fucking, you know, trying to smash or whatever. It's just like my time is devoted into different shit. But there's people that their whole entire life is wait for the weekend. Let me go and, you know, buy these chicks drinks. Let me, you know, take them and smash them and then do this shit again the next weekend with a different chick. And it to them is body count at that point. Like how high can I get my body count?
Because I was talking to my buddy and I told him, because he was like, yeah, the relationship failed because of me. I was entertaining and shit, doing dumb shit. The girl finally had enough and she wanted to split her way. She left. And he felt bad. I said, bro, you feel bad right now and you feel sad. Imagine all the nights that she went to sleep knowing that you're fucking around. Imagine how she felt when she figured out that you were with other people. You didn't care at that point. I was like, and that's not cool, bro. That's not respectful. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's sister. That's somebody's granddaughter. What if that was your sister? What if that was your daughter? What if that was your mom? Like, you're doing some fucked up ass shit, bro. I was like, and really, if she's the one, you're really sacrificing a permanent for temporaries. Temporaries that ain't even worth it. Like, they're not.
You're sacrificing your mansion, your paid off mansion to stay in a hotel.
Yeah, and it's like
for one night.
It's not. That's not the move, bro. And that's one of the things I tell my lady. I'm like, it's crazy because like sometimes we go to grocery stores or we'll go to any place and we'll go our separate ways for a little bit. You know, I'll go look at the men's section or whatever. And I like catch myself doing dumb shit. Like sometimes I'll be like walking around my aisle and I'm coming back towards the women's section to find her. And I'm like, damn, this shorty's bad. And then she'll turn around and I'm like, oh shit, that's my girl. Like, it's just little shit like that. I'm like, oh damn. Like sometimes I'm just like fucking zoning out. And then I see her and I'm like, if I still feel like that she's the most beautiful person or she's like so attractive, it's because I've dug deep into knowing her and her appearance just gravitates me. Like being used to somebody, your energy just gravitates to them.
And your connection is so strong that you can go out and there might be a girl that's like, let me hit on this guy. Yeah. And she can be like, oh, where you from and this and that. And you're not going to entertain that shit because your connection is so strong that you're like,
yeah. Like my girl, she
I'm
goes on.
going to shut it down real quick.
Yeah, my girl, she goes on her like girls trips. She'll go on girls nights and shit. And I don't care. I'm like, fuck you. Go have fun with your friends.
You know what you're doing.
But be careful with your friends too. Find out who you hanging out with. You know what I mean?
That's what I tell her too.
Yeah, you gotta.
That's important. That's important.
Hell yeah, you gotta, and that's something your girl got to see too. You gotta be. I wouldn't say man enough, but as a companion, you gotta tell them like, be careful with your friends. Are they somebody you want to trade shoes with? Are they somebody you want to take advice from? If they're not, then what are you doing? And I tell them like, I tell my girl like, check in with me, and her friends probably get mad and they're like, man, why does he want to know where you're at? Or why does he want you to check in? And I'm like, I just want to know that she's fine. I want to know if she doesn't answer the phone, to say something happened to her, I know where to go look. Like, that's it.
We're like that, bro.
It's a respecting.
I'm always thinking about the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I'm like that. And
worst case scenario always.
And that's what I tell my girl. I'm like, Alex, like I put the worst scenarios in my head and they fuck with me. So if you don't check with me, you're gonna make me fucking go crazy at home. Like I need to fucking know, because your safety comes number one to me. Fuck your friends. I don't give a fuck about them. I'm worried about you. Like I want to make sure you're at home. And I was like, and honestly, if you're out at the club and let's say a guy buys you a drink, don't gravitate to that shit, because a lot of these dudes, the only goal in their mind is to hit. Like, know that when you're out, it's a bunch of lost souls. You're coming home to somebody. They're not.
True. Like,
and us as a couple, like, we got to respect each other. Like, when I'm out and about, I got to text you like, hey, I'm at the club, I'm this and that. Hey, I'm about to go home like in 20 minutes. Because let's say I go home in 20 minutes and an hour in, I'm not answering no calls. Something probably happened to me, bro. It's just a respecting of communication.
Real talk.
Yeah, bro. And that's what I tell people. That's what I tell her. Like, you just got to be careful who you hang out with. Be careful how drunk you get. If somebody gives you and your friends like, hey, I bought y'all some shots, be careful, because some of these motherfuckers be doing some sideways ass shit.
That scenario is scary.
Yeah, even if they're trying to hit on your friend and you're just there and you're getting one of the shots, you don't know.
That's true. Yeah, it's a learning process. All this shit, bro, is fucking crazy. It is a learning process.
Hell yeah.
But it looks like we're all figuring it out, as we go.
100%.
It's crazy.
And a relationship's a 24/7 job, bro. It's full time. Like, you're not, even when you're sleeping, you're gonna be thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's constant work. The day where you're finally like, man, this is easy. That's where you fucked up. Like, you got to constantly be trying to figure out your partner. Like, my girl, she knows me better than my mom now. Like, she knows me just as much as some of my closest friends. And it's hard for me to, like, say somebody's a close friend, because really, I don't really have friends. I have brothers. Like, those are my brothers. And it's like, for you to know me just as much as they do, that's a lot, you know what I mean? But it's really all communication. It's a full-time job. And always be considerate too. Tell yourself, like, if she were to do this, I wouldn't like it. So why am I doing this? Something else that.
Good ass shit, bro. Good ass shit. We've been here for an hour and 23. The limit for this is always an hour, but we passed that. Good ass fucking info. Anything else, guys, before we close this motherfucker out?
Really, I'm grateful once again to be on here. I'm really big on conversations. I love having conversations with people.
This shit was dope. Like, I gotta have you more often in this bitch, cause.
And I think, like, even cutting hair, I tell people, like, really what I live for is conversations. Cause I'm gonna meet some really great people in life. I'm gonna have some really great conversations. We might touch topics that I'm gonna be able, let's say you might have information that me and you are talking about, but the next person next to me needs information you gave me. Like, that's just wisdom to pass on. So I'm always really grateful having conversations with people and getting to know others, getting to pick people's brains, probably open their mind to a different point of view, and also getting a different point of view in my perspective as well. And really, we're just all figuring life out. We're all kids having kids. And we're all kids trying to become adults, but what's an adult?
That's true, bro. Good ass shit, man. We definitely got to do this again because I feel like we can keep going, but I don't want to edit a long ass podcast.
No, you're fine, bro.
Marco, you got anything else, brother?
No, I also wanted to tell you I cut hair too.
Oh, you cut hair too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Boy, we out here, bro. That's the thing. We out here, man. We re-signed the lease. And, bro, we've been so busy because Marco got the Telemundo shit going on. And then on the weekends, he does cuts. And now, like, I got the Verizon thing, but I'm also working with my buddy doing flooring and shit.
Okay.
So we've been fucking going busy. Like, we, like, barely have time for the content. Like, I got off of a 8-hour shift today and, like, got home, showered, came here. Same with Marco and shit. So we've been fucking, you know what I'm saying? So it's sacrifice you got to do, discipline, and...
For sure.
We're here, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's all going to be worth it, too.
Exactly.
I mean, as long as you're tunnel visioned in and you're grinding and you have discipline and you're dedicated to it, you can get anything accomplished. And that's something I'm learning right now because I've always told myself, like, I'm somebody that has great ideas, but I'm always like...
You do, motherfucker. I'm still waiting for that podcast.
I know, bro. That's what, that's one thing, too. I'm so ready to, like, just... get to know people. Like, bro, I've met some badass people in the past year.
You got the connection just with the barbershop itself, bro. Like, bro,
I've met some,
your guest list has got to be insane.
Oh, bro,
like, come on.
I know fucking millionaires. I know fucking war veterans. I know people that travel. I know all types of shit, bro. And it's insane, bro. Just having one good conversation with a client a day really makes my day. I'm like, cool. But if it's a conversation of fucking rap and sports and shit, I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that shit.
Oh, that shit wild. But
yeah, LeBron James don't give a fuck about me. I don't give a fuck about him.
Man, appreciate you, dog, for coming out. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 84 in the books. Peace.
Peace.